Oh, yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen!
Are you ready for your moment of bliss?
Because what Poppy wants, Poppy gets.
Yowie wowie! I don't even know if that's PG! Acknowledge me! Woo! Oh, you didn't know? Well, let me tell you something, brother!
Welcome to the most must-see WWE talk show in history. Welcome to
the Cream of the Crop Wrestling Podcast.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better! It's still real to me, damn it!
Hello and welcome to The Bottom Line, a weekly review giving you the gist of what happened. Welcome to The Bottom Line of WWE Friday Night SmackDown, December 2nd, 2022. You're listening to the Cream of the Crop Wrestling Podcast, the podcast that's really just me and Rob with two soup cans strung together. We are the brainbusters of the program. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Rob. And please embrace the kingdom of the madness by be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, Pat, what a way to lead off the new season after Survivor Series. What do you say?
Fairly quick show, if you ask me. It didn't seem like a lot happened, but it didn't seem like nothing happened. I don't know what. It's been a weird week coming off a hot pay-per-view, wouldn't you say?
It absolutely has, and I'm going to break tradition today. So I don't want to do a word of the day, but today I have a phrase of the day to describe SmackDown, and that is steady as she goes.
That's the way it seems like, because we've got a long way to the Royal Rumble.
But we did get our first confirmed entrant tonight.
Oh, that we did.
We did. Kofi Kingston. Yeah.
We got a lot of things did happen tonight, and it wasn't overall not a bad show at all.
No, a good show. I enjoyed tonight's show. When a show goes by quickly, that means it was A, an easy watch, B, nothing terrible happened, and C, we had some good wrestling.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it, and because SmackDown started with Sami Zayn coming down to the ring with the Usos and Solo in tow. We get a promo with Jimmy telling Sami he was the MVP of War Games and asking Sami how he's feeling. And of course, he's feeling pretty freaking oozy. We finally get the double dap between Jimmy and Sami and Jay, which I really enjoyed. Then the Brawling Brutes come out and ruin the brotherly love, which leads to our first match of the night, Sami Zayn versus Sheamus. What do you think about this promo for the match, Rob?
Enjoyed the promo. We got the standard Bloodline promo that we've been getting all the time, but the crowd loves it, except for this time. Sami Zayn, who is always quick to show as much love as he can to the Usos and Solo and Roman and the entire gang. This time, Jay and Jimmy are both like, no, sir. No, please, stand down. This is our turn to show you all the love that you deserve. And the crowd was all about that. So that was nice. And, of course, the Brawling Brutes are coming out again, so we're still... I don't know if we're going to get a continuation of this. I guess we are, because we got the... Sheamus is not really moving on to Roman like we thought. I think that's the Kevin Owens aim here, but then we get a little bit of... We'll talk about it a little bit later, but I guess we're getting the Sheamus and Drew McIntyre is going to veer off to face off with the Usos right now. It's kind of the route they're going to go to finish off the year, so... I enjoy it. A match we haven't seen. I guess we saw it last week, but a match we haven't really seen on a full scale yet. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, we see later on in the show about what you touched on, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre matching up against the Usos. So that means the Brutes ain't done with the Bloodline just yet. But where does that leave the Usi and this guy with diamonds?
I think right now he is going to be just kind of fiddling around. He's there to help the Usos make sure they keep their title, but then he's also there to help Roman with his Kevin Owens problem that's going to be facing him soon.
Can't wait. The promo it was really good. Jay admitting he didn't like Sami. Jay acknowledging Sami as a full member of the Bloodline during this promo.
Oh, yeah, he has a Bloodline shirt now, right? It's not an honorary Uso anymore. Sure, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the first match of the night, because the match got underway. It was Sheamus versus Sami Zayn, and this match started with Sheamus throwing Sami into the barricade. They traded control with Sami hitting an ice tornado DDT, and then trying to do his own version of the beats of the Battering. We saw Sheamus use the cloverleaf. I love it every time he brings that out of nowhere. Sheamus hits 20 beats of the Battering, and he sets up for the Brogue Kick, and the Usos cause the distraction for Sami to hit the Blue Thunder Bomb. The Brutes and the Bloodline brawl it out on the outside of the ring. Jimmy distracted the referee this time, and then Jay super kicks Sheamus for Sami to hit the Sunset Flip for the win. Rob, what do you have to say about this match?
This was a fun match. This actually match felt very old school to me, which was kind of fun. I liked the spot at the beginning. This spot meant nothing to anything, but we just haven't seen it in a long time. Zayn went for a hip toss, and Sheamus did like the big man thing from the late 80s, early 90s, where he blocked the hip toss and then just did a power clothesline on him, and it was a fun spot. It's something I haven't seen in a long time, so it was great to see that come back. I liked the Sunset Flip Bomb counter that Sami did from White Noise. That was a good spot. And then, of course, you had more Bloodline distraction and more Jay being over the top and helping out Sami Zayn get the victory as well. So this is going to be a sharp left turn in conversation. I cannot wait until the one day in our world that we're going to get the Young Buck Uso match, because I think anyone in the world who hates super kicks will have a conniption when it exists. Because there's so many the super kicks amounts that we get from the Usos. Even when all they're doing is just trying to help out Sami Zayn, and they only throw like maybe 5 moves this whole match. 4 of those 5 are super kicks. So
I think you mentioning the Bucks and the Usos having a match, you just gave a whole lot of people listening a conniption fit.
I probably did. So, but it was a really fun match. I liked all the distractions because Sami Zayn, as much as I love him right now, to beat Sheamus, it makes more sense for him to get that distraction victory. And I think they're still trying to keep the Bloodline a little bit heel. But man, that crowd is just pro Sami Zayn no matter what you're doing. Sheamus.
That's why you see Sheamus come out during the promo and he gets right to the match. Doesn't even give the crowd a chance to really boo him, or you know what I mean. And the crowd's pretty quiet when the Brutes come out.
Yeah, because Sheamus right now is on probably the biggest babyface run he's had since 2012-ish, somewhere in there. And even he can't get cheered when Sami Zayn is involved. So that's right there shows you where we are. We have the great anti-heroes of the world in the Bloodline.
Well, let's keep it moving here, because the next thing we get a video segment of Legado del Fantasma, and Santos Escobar tells us that he's winning the SmackDown World Cup, and he will win the Intercontinental Championship. And then Zelina Vega talks about how it will elevate Escobar, and how that will elevate Legado del Fantasma in general. And this is when we find out the finals match of Ricochet versus Santos Escobar is the main event. Rob, what do you think about that?
I was really excited. It's a good spot for that because that makes it seem like a much bigger deal than what they've kind of presented this as a little bit. We'll talk about the match later. But as a group, these promos look fantastic. They all are dressed to the nines. Santos looks amazing. Zelina is so hot, man. She looks so good there. One of the big things, and I think she is super underrated, is she's actually one of the best talkers in the entire company. The way that she can just elevate the status of anyone around her and the way she talks about anyone as kind of her client, she just makes them all seem like $1 million. So this whole promo was perfect, and it's also a nice way to just set up for the main event of what we had to look forward to later.
Let's go backstage to Megan Morant, who has Kofi Kingston standing by with an important announcement. He tells us he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, and he starts to talk about how he thinks Ricochet is going to win the SmackDown World Cup, but he's interrupted by Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, and Kofi challenges one of them for a match, saying, Xavier's not here tonight, so which one of you guys am I going to face? And then Gunther pops into frame and says, "You will fight me tonight." And we get a little funny comment from Kingston saying, "Were you just standing around the corner waiting to jump out?" But this sets up a match for later, Rob. What do you think about this?
Fun little promo. Hey, Kofi, good for you. You're the first entrant in the Rumble, so someone else of the other 29 is going to win. Good to know. So then add on to it here. I like this promo a lot because not only I want to give props to Kofi the entire time. A, that's a better joke than what they've ever had told in the last few weeks. Like, he's just hiding over there or something. Yeah, absolutely. That's hilarious because he's off camera. But then B, the look of fear when he finds out it's not Kaiser or Vinci, and he finds out it's Gunther, and he's like, "Oh crap, yeah, okay, yeah." You like it. It immediately gives that look that says, "Yeah, these guys are the henchmen," but really, this is it's like facing Bowser. So the fear was immediately instilled in. So Kofi, props to you for the facials on that one. That was great.
Well, we then get a backstage promo from Bray Wyatt. And it starts out with him saying, "I think we're spoiled, and today's society has given us a lavish lifestyle. We're all shrouded in technology. Everybody has manners. We typically forget that once upon a time we're all just wild animals. And spiders eat flies, even to this day. Snakes eat rats. Nobody looks at this like an act of violence. It's simply just animals trying to survive. Some must die so that others can live. You don't want to be the one I will dare talk about these things, even though all these primal instincts are ingrained in every single one of us. We don't dare talk about because we don't want to be the freak, right? We want to fit in our little place in society and carry on. They're still there. I'm not the one that hurt LA Knight. If I had hurt him, there would be nothing left." What do you think about this promo, Rob?
It's a nice little promo from him. It's letting the world know that we're all, evil people on the inside. That it's we're all humans, we're all animals. We all have that primal instinct in us, and him especially. And that, and in the end, saying that I'm not the one that hurt LA Knight because you would know that. It's him letting you know, I am an animal. I am a primitive being. I am a hunter and will kill my prey. And so the fact that he's just letting you know ahead of time that when I do get my hands on LA Knight, like you assumed I did, you'll know it's me because there will be no more LA Knight. So that leads to more speculation on Uncle Howdy. Who are you? Are you not Bray? Are you someone else? Or is there someone else out there that we're not even thinking about in the meantime? So I think it just adds more speculation on just more character driven development going forward. So not really any questions answered, just more questions added.
Well, before the next match, we see Shayna Baszler come out by herself. Ronda Rousey is off doing PR work, evidently. And then we see Emma right before she comes out for the match, and she's talking to Madcap Moss behind the curtain. And Madcap asks her if she's alright, and she's just talking about how she's been gone for so long. But Madcap gives her some words of encouragement, and Emma gives him a kiss on the cheek. And this leads into our next match, which is Shayna Baszler versus Emma. Match gets underway with Emma doing counter moves to Shayna, and Shayna trying to target Emma's left arm. Emma would get a couple of 2 counts during this match, but Shayna would continually work on that arm and wrenched it. Shayna wins with the Kirifuda clutch, and Emma tapping out. After the match, Shayna went after Emma's arm, and that's when Shotzi runs out to make the save, but Shotzi gets knocked out by Shayna. And then that's when Raquel Rodriguez comes out and kind of makes Shayna back off just by staring her down. Important to note that Raquel's in an arm brace from the crate attack from last week. What do you think about this, Rob?
Nice little match. This is a better showing for Emma than the first time she had out there with Ronda Rousey. Love the tarantula spot, by the way. That was a good one. So I like that a lot. But I also enjoyed more of Shayna Baszler coming out on her own and also getting a decisive win, because if you haven't learned by now, everyone, I'm pro Shayna Baszler. Like, I think she needs to be pushed way bigger than she has been. So anything that makes her look like a badass even farther, I'm always going to be all in on. I liked the post-match stuff because I liked Shotzi coming out and Shotzi getting put in her place because she has no business being in any sort of main event anything right now, or maybe ever. But then Raquel coming out and even her arm in a cast right now, which I don't know if it's kayfabe or if it's real. Regardless, does not matter. It really showed her as a badass at the fact that Shayna was like, I'm going to get out of the ring, even though this person only does have one good arm. So it sets up what we assume is the inevitable Raquel Gonzalez Ronda Rousey match a little bit later down the road, whether that be Rumble or whether it be on a big SmackDown main event. Who cares? But I think Emma, she's doing what her role is to be, and that's just to be a person who puts on okay matches and gets beat. Shayna looked awesome, and then it sets up the future title match down the road with Raquel. I thought this was a really good segment. So much better than what they've been doing the last few weeks with the lead up of Shotzi and Ronda.
Let's keep it moving. The next thing we get is a video package of Lacey Evans, and it's back to basics, Rob, because it showed Lacey training military style. What do you think about this?
I think that was long overdue. Her gimmick that she had beforehand doesn't really fit who she was. I know as a look-wise, and I will give her credit, like the Southern Belle thing, she did a really good job with it at the time, but now we all know too much about her when it comes to being a mother, an ex-vet, and she has too much baby face stuff in her life for her to not be a baby face. Now, I don't think she'll ever be the main event or anything like that again, but I definitely think she was miscast the last year and a half or so. So I think it's a good reset button for her.
Yeah, I think they started to do this earlier in the year, and then during the change of regime, we've seen that kind of peter out a little bit. A little bit of fantasy booking that I would love to see is and bring in the Sarge.
Okay.
Why not? Just a little run of Sergeant Slaughter with Lacey Evans, you know, at Lacey Evans' side. That wouldn't be too bad, would it?
That would not be too bad. And
or some
I like
promo, just some promos or video packages of Lacey training with the Sarge.
I would dig it. Like, Sarge is someone that I would love to bring back. I think your fantasy booking on this one's great. He's had some awesome other fantasy bookings, but if you want to hear some of those, you need to go back into our archives. So please, and if you want to come to make sure that you're updated on all of them, check us out on YouTube, Cream of the Crop Wrestling. Make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe. That's even more important so you can stay updated. And then follow us on Facebook. We have near 1,000 followers. We're getting there, so people there, keep following us, keep sharing it with more friends. You can also find us on Twitter. You can also find us on Instagram. You can also find us on TikTok. So it's very, very important that you find us on all these platforms because it's going to help us create more content and reach more wrestling fans out in the world as well. And that's our main goal here, is to connect with more wrestling fans from all across the globe so that we can have wonderful conversations like me and Patrick have here each and every week with you guys.
And even if you want to just give us some constructive criticism, we're always looking to improve. Am I right, Rob?
Always, always. This is never a finished product.
Well, before we get to our next match, we did learn that on Monday Night Raw, the Usos will defend the Undisputed Tag Team Championships against Matt Riddle and Elias. But more importantly, we learned that JBL is going to host a high-stakes poker tournament. Why? I hate to be that guy, but I'm a little bit more excited. I'm not a little bit more. I'm way more excited about JBL's poker tournament than I am about a Usos versus Elias and Matt Riddle match. What about you, Rob?
I am 100% with you on that one because anytime you hear that there's going to be a segment like that, the high stakes poker tournament, you know that there's going to be some random payoff. And I'm very curious to see if it's a debut of someone, if it starts a new rival. I'm just curious to see where they go with it. There's always going to be an ending out of nowhere. And I'm going to take a wild stab and say they're going to continue this with Akira Tozawa, who stole their money last time and stole his hat.
Wins the tournament, right?
Yes, this is can I call it now? 2023 is the year of Akira Tozawa, Royal Rumble winner. He's the one that beats Roman Reigns. He beats the entire bloodline, and then he also beats Gunther in the same night.
Now you're getting too carried away. You got carried away when you said Royal Rumble winner. But I'm with you on Akira Tozawa being more prominent on Raw.
And then, as a champion, he enters Money in the Bank and wins his own Money in the Bank contract and cashes in on himself. It's going to be great. I'm so excited for Akira Tozawa in the year of 2023.
Well, let's move on to the next match of the night, which is Kofi Kingston versus Gunther. Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci are ringside. Gunther controls almost this entire match, and then out of nowhere Braun Strowman comes down and just beats up Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser and chases them away, and then leaves it up to Gunther and Kofi Gunther's by himself. Kofi tried picking up some momentum, and he even managed to hit the SOS, and then he even tried to hit the Trouble in Paradise, but Gunther would dodge out of the way. Important to note that Kofi kicks out of Gunther's powerbomb, which has been Gunther's finisher for the past, since his main roster debut, right? I can't remember if he was using it in NXT or not. Can you?
He was using it, but it wasn't. It was a lead into his finisher, which was like the splash off the top rope.
Yeah, okay. But because now Gunther's got a new finisher, which is a power slam. And Gunther hits this power slam, and then he gets the pin for the win. And then that's when Michael Cole tells us that the power slam is something he's been working on, and it's called The Last Symphony. What do you think about this match, Rob?
Match-wise, it was a fun match. I thought it actually laid out pretty well, and it had a moment in there for me, so I almost got unnecessarily angry. So right now, Gunther still has not gotten beat on the main roster. I don't want to see him get beat all the way until Mania, personally. But the SOS was right after a Braun Strowman distraction, and that near fall was close, and I totally thought they were about to have Gunther's first loss be this non-title match on a random SmackDown to that SOS, and I almost just went into rage mode, being like, what the hell are they doing right now? They just wait like all these things, but thankfully he kicked out. So
that's good, though. That's what makes it a good match, right?
Kudos to them on selling that for me. I thought that was it. So otherwise the match was great. I don't want to see Kofi Kingston taking chops like that. His chest can't do anymore. That dude's chest is already caved in enough. So don't do that to him. I didn't care for that finishing move. Like at first when I thought it was a little anticlimactic, but Gunther has been known to just finish matches with random clotheslines or chops here and there after just wearing guys down. So I just thought that's what that was, because there'll be times where his opponent will kick out of a finisher, and then he'll pick them up and do one big chop or one big clothesline or one big slam, and that drains the last bit of energy out of it. So that's what I thought it was, but then when Cole said it's called The Last Symphony, it's a new finishing move, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, I guess, but I don't know. Well, I'll let it grow on me, I guess. I'm not going to complain yet until I see it happen a little bit more.
Well, let's go backstage and go right outside the Bloodline's locker room, where Sammy leaves to get some food, and the Usos tell Solo to go with him, because Sammy has been making enemies here lately. And this is where Jimmy talks to Jay one-on-one, and asks Jay why didn't he say anything to Sammy or go along with Sammy after Sammy lied to him last week. And this is where Jay tells Jimmy that Big Oos, Roman Reigns, told him that he saw everything he needed to see when he looked into Sammy's eyes. Then Sheamus comes out of nowhere and attacks the Usos with a shillelagh, and he says, good luck with your title match on Monday, because him and McIntyre are next in line. What do you think about this, Rob?
So I was trying to figure out at the very beginning, because when they told Solo to go with Sammy had a weird look on his face that kind of said he didn't want Solo to go with him. I don't know if there was something to that or if I'm reading into that, and that's just me on my own. So that was kind of weird, but I'll take it for what it is. Promo-wise, it was fine. I think they're going to play into that a little bit later. And eventually this story is going to evolve more and more and more, and someone is going to break the trust of someone. Who it's going to be, when it's going to happen, we still don't know. Are we going to wait all the way to the Rumble? Is it going to happen before the Rumble? Is it going to happen after the Rumble? I couldn't tell you. So that's going to be good. Sheamus coming in and hitting them with the shillelagh was fun. I love when Sheamus walked away, just going banga after banga, just holding over his shoulder. That was cool. I get it that they have TV time to film, and maybe this was just I need to think like a 12-year-old in this situation and not think like a 30-plus-year-old guy who's been watching this all his life. But anytime you announce another title match that's going to take place after a title match has already been announced, you're already giving away the finish. But you're also in my...
If WWE was better at throwing us curveballs and having surprise winners more often, which they don't, it would be more acceptable. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the number 2 contenders. You know what I mean? We have number 1 contenders, and that's it. We don't know who's next after that. That's the point.
And especially the title that we have right now, they're talking about these tag titles that already have their record-holding titles, and we kind of all know where the road is leading to. Like, we know they're not going to lose the titles until at least Mania, and that, I mean, for most people who are adults and who've been watching it, they know the road is leading to Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn tag team beating the Usos at Mania. So, like, anything that leads up between there is just very much like, you're just wasting time. Now, hopefully, maybe we're wrong. Maybe, cool. And we'll be shocked and surprised. But I just think right now it's just a way to get matches on television. And, okay, that's fine. Like, you don't need to sell me on a tag title match between the Usos and McIntyre and Sheamus. Like, just have that match on TV, non-title, and I'm still going to watch it and enjoy it just the same.
Well, let's head to the ring where Damage Control come out. And we then get a promo from Bayley talking about how nobody on the SmackDown roster wanted to step up and face them at War Games, and that makes her a little disappointed. But then Liv Morgan comes out and says if Bayley has a problem with the SmackDown women's division, she's here to address it. And she says 3 against 1 seems fair, and she runs into the ring and begins to brawl it out with Damage Control. She takes out Dakota and Io Sky at first, and then goes after Bayley, but the numbers game is just too much. Until Tegan Nox makes a surprise return and comes out and helps Liv Morgan out. Liv grabs a kendo stick and actually shatters the kendo stick on Bayley. Rob, what do you think about Tegan Nox being back?
I mean, I'm excited for Tegan Nox to come back. I think as long as she can stay healthy, which has always kind of been her issue, she adds wonderful depth to the roster. She is the babyface version of Dakota Kai. Her and Dakota Kai have a lot of history, by the way, so I hope they dive into that using the video promos now that NXT is not a foreign concept to the head creator. So I hope they really dive into that going forward, because that could be another amazing just television rivalry, that something that doesn't need to be on a pay-per-view, which would be very nice to see. I really think that right now, I'm going to just talk about Damage Control. Either they need to disband it or they need to give them some wins, because I know that they have the tag titles right now, but Bayley hasn't seen a victory in forever. No matter what they do, even when the numbers are in their favor, they're doing nothing but getting beat up. They got beat up by Becky Lynch 3-on-1. 3-on-2 here. They got beat up again. They lost at War Games. They've lost, I can't tell you how many matches since then, before then. Like, Dakota Kai got beat by Candice LeRae Monday night on Raw. So right now, like, either they need to give them some victories, or can we just call it a day with Damage Control and just say it's not working and move on?
See, there's something I just thought about. I don't know if it's just because of the tag team titles or not, but Damage Control is the only other faction besides the Bloodline that will brand hop.
The Brutes did it on Monday night.
But I'm talking about on a
Triple H show.
regular basis. You see
Oh, yeah,
Damage
you're right.
Control on both shows, and you'll see the Bloodline on both shows. So
Are they a ratings draw and I'm missing it?
Are they trying to build Damage Control as this major faction?
Then give them some wins. Make them seem strong, because right now they do nothing but get beat up or lose matches.
Well, before we get to the main event, we see a video package of Karrion Kross and Scarlett, where Karrion Kross says the world is full of chaos, and he taught Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss that you don't try to walk against the wind, and it's time to teach somebody else. And Scarlett holds up a tarot card with Rey Mysterio on it. Looking like we're going to get a Rey Mysterio Karrion Kross feud. Rob, what do you think about that?
That makes me really happy. I think that this is going to be the first feud in which this makes sense to me with Karrion Kross, because it's someone that can just really help him in the ring. Just put on a good match. Rey Mysterio doesn't have bad matches with a lot of people, so I'm excited about that. And then I think it's also just a good step back. I think Triple H wanted him in the main event real early, and you could tell by his debut with McIntyre and Roman, on his debut was right there. And then after a while realizing, okay, maybe that's a bit of a heavy push. Maybe we should pull it back a little bit and just kind of start from the ground up. And I think this is a perfect babyface for him to get some good matches under his belt, get some good heat, because no matter where he's at, Rey Mysterio has only been booed once in his life, and that's because he wasn't Daniel Bryan in the 2014 Royal Rumble. Other than that, this dude's going to get cheered everywhere all the time, like he is the biggest babyface all the time. So this is going to make him seem like an uber heel, and also make sure it's going to have a really, really good match under his belt. And it also it's another credible babyface he can beat without that babyface losing any steam.
Well, we then see another video package, but this time it's of Uncle Howdy. And during this, he's talking about how he knows, how he thinks he feels, and he says it's all fiction. Trust him. Revel in what you are. Still don't know who Uncle Howdy is, Rob. Do you?
No, I don't either. I'm hoping it's Bo Dallas, but we'll see. I am at a point now where I am just waiting and seeing. I'm done trying to guess. I'm just along for the ride.
I imagine the reveal of Uncle Howdy will come with the LA Knight match.
Which will be when?
I imagine within the next few weeks, next couple weeks, we'll
I
probably
hope so.
see that. I imagine by the end of the month for sure.
I hope so.
But let's get to our main event of the night, which is the finals for the SmackDown World Cup. Santos Escobar versus Ricochet. The winner gets an Intercontinental Championship match against Gunther. Zelina Vega starts out on commentary. Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro are at ringside, but they were soon sent to the back by the referee during the match. Zelina Vega argues about it, and then she is sent to the back as well. This match was a high-flying, back-and-forth, even matchup. We saw Escobar hit a beautiful Hurricane Rana from the barricade. Ricochet hit a Northern Lights suplex. Ricochet counters a lot of Escobar's moves during this match, and it builds up to Ricochet hitting the 630 for the win. Rob, what do you think about this match?
This match was the best match of the entire tournament. This was so much fun. This is the match I was waiting for Santos Escobar to have. I knew Ricochet has these matches all the time, so I wasn't surprised by that. But this is the match for me that I was waiting for Escobar to have through this whole tournament, and he should have had it because he had a match with I forget who the first round match was with, but his second round match was with Butch, and you thought he would have a spectacular one with Butch, and it was just kind of underwhelming. Mustafa Ali was his first match, and that's the one where I was like, yeah, was it Mustafa? No, that was Ricochet. Man, I'm gonna forget who that is. Oh, it's all right though. I was waiting for Santos to really have that breakout moment of having a match on live TV that's going to show the world what he could really do and show why he is a star. And this match really did that for him. A few spots I really wanted to talk about. I think this actually even elevated Ricochet a little bit more, even though the dude's been an Intercontinental Champion. He's been on the roster for a while. I thought this actually made him look even better and kind of like a bigger deal. So, because he beat Braun Strowman in this tournament. He beat Mustafa Ali, and he beat Santos. So, that's a good trio of people to have a victory against. Let's talk about the suicide dive. Santos Escobar did a suicide dive on Ricochet that pushed him into the commentary table, and it was one of the most brutal-looking suicide dives I have seen in a long time. Like, it looked like Ricochet was just driven into that commentary table, and they showed it about 4 or 5 times. It was really brutal looking. It was one of the ones that I just saw, just like, I don't know how you guys managed to pull that off, and you're still going into this match. There was another time where Santos was going to do another Hurricane Rana off the middle rope, and Ricochet actually landed on his feet doing a full front flip. So that was another really, really fun spot that I enjoyed a whole lot. And then at the end, too, before Ricochet finally hit the 630, he did his best Aleister Black, Malachi Black, whatever you want to call it, impression there. I guess he's been training there with him for a little bit. But he had about a knee lift followed by 3 kicks that were not really super kicks. They were actually like Muay Thai type kicks that just put Santos Escobar on Dream Street and knocked him out before he did that 630. So that was a really, really good spot there. So I thought overall this was the best match of the tournament. I thought this was a great main event. And I wish the whole tournament would have played out like this, because if it had more matches like this through the whole tournament, I think people would have cared a little bit more.
Definitely the match that I've been waiting for Santos Escobar to have. Not the main event of the tournament that I would have saw coming. Would you have expected this to be the finals at the beginning of the tournament?
No, I thought they were planning for a Braun Strowman Gunther championship match heading into this. So I'm curious. Eventually, obviously that's the rivalry, so I'm curious on how they're going to get there. But they did plant the seeds where Gunther distracted Strowman during his Ricochet match. Now Gunther has a match with Ricochet, so I'm curious to see if Strowman comes out during that to distract Gunther and how that's going to play out a little bit. So I don't...
Maybe Gunther, or maybe Strowman comes out and does the same thing during the championship match and chases the rest of Imperium away, kind of lending a hand to Ricochet and showing some respect to the Flippy Flippers.
I think he has shown a little... Okay, this is going to be weird. I'm not a big Strowman fan. I think everyone here has kind of realized that over time. I think he's fine. I think he works hard, and I understand his place on the card.
You just don't like his red pants, right? It's his red pants.
No, I actually love the red pants. I do. I just don't enjoy. I don't enjoy him on my screen very much. He just doesn't bring anything to my show that I enjoy. But I think a Strowman Ricochet tag team would be so much fun. That is a tag team I would get behind.
Not a bad idea, and it might even lead into that, and at least storyline-wise, that would make sense. One of my favorite runs of Braun Strowman is during the get your hands stuff, get these hands, you know what I mean, when he first started that run. Other than that, I think Strowman's okay. He's not bad.
No, he's fine. He had there was a moment in there where you could see him being the guy, and then they just killed him off with one F5 from Lesnar. And I don't know, ever since then, he never just got that steam back again, and now he just kind of relies on the same kind of few tropes over and over and over again, and I'm just kind of like whatever about it now. So I would like to... I think a team between him and Ricochet and doing some other stuff would really freshen him up to me.
Let's talk about some of our favorite moments of the show. Beginning with our least favorite moment. Rob, what is our least favorite moment called?
It is the near fall of the night.
Well, what is your near fall?
I don't have a near fall of the night tonight. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this entire show, and there was nothing that they did that made me go, why'd you do that? That was bad.
Yeah, I'm with you. There wasn't anything to take away from this show at all. Was there any crazy bumps or moves in this show that you liked?
Yeah, I talked about this during the main event. That I usually don't talk about a suicide dive because it's whatever. But this suicide dive that Santos Escobar hit on Ricochet, like people go watch that suicide dive. It was ridiculous how hard he pushed Ricochet into that commentary table, and just the way Ricochet took that bump. It was not a normal suicide dive. So that's my move.
I'm actually gonna go with the SOS from Kofi Kingston, and almost making you think he's gonna beat Gunther.
Scared me.
I mean, it was a
That
non-title
scared me so
match
much.
too, so it was
That's why it
perfectly
scared
set
me.
up. It was almost
That got me.
It would have been pretty predictable from that point if he did win. I would have been shocked for the fact I was like, wow, I see. All the clues were there that Kofi was going to win this match, but luckily Gunther stayed strong.
Man.
What about the showstopper of the night?
So, showstopper of the night, there was nothing really anything that made me stand out on this front.
What about a good promo? Was there a good promo you liked?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to think about. It's there wasn't an over the top promo. There was nothing that made me go, man, that was so good. Bray Wyatt did his normal Bray Wyatt stuff. I would say, if anything, and this is nothing over the top. This is nothing great. I liked the Karrion Kross video. I'm not a big Karrion Kross guy. Everyone knows that, but I thought the video was a better setup for what he can do a little bit down the road. I think setting up against a feud with Rey Mysterio is a perfect segue for him to kind of reestablish himself on who he is and what he can do going forward, and also help him out. So I'm just going to go with that whole video promo with Karrion Kross.
I'm actually going to go with at the beginning of the night where the Bloodline come out and Sami Zayn before the matchup, and we get to I'm a sucker for that double tap,
That's fair.
And Solo still sells it so well, keeping that Stone Cold stoic face. But what about, I think I already know your answer, but go ahead and tell us anyways. What is the barn burner of the night, Rob?
It's the main event. The best match of the whole evening was the main event. Ricochet, Santos Escobar. Santos, you finally did what I was hoping that you could finally do, because I've been praising you for a while now. So this was easily the best match of the night. Go out of your way to watch this one. This is great.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think for a lot of people, and you can, even for myself, that I would not have picked this match on paper to be a main event match. And it was a good surprise. Wow, that was a great main event. So a lot of good storytelling, great match overall.
They have, sorry not to interrupt you here, but they have a lot of talent on there that can do that. And I think you're going to see more of that with Triple H, where he knows that he has a lot of guys who can work. And if he gets them in front of the right crowd, which I think this was the right crowd, and he gives them 15 to 20 minutes, it's a good way to close a random Friday night SmackDown, especially in December when people are just kind of at home doing whatever. There's not a lot going on. I think this is your time to take guys like Escobar, to take guys like Ricochet, to take Mustafa Ali, to take just random workers that aren't going to be main event guys, and just let them showcase themselves for 15 to 20 minutes, and the crowd's going to love it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. I think Triple H is going to be prominent in putting he's going to put a lot of faith in superstars, and it's not misplaced.
Right. No, yeah, I understand what you mean by that. And I also what I love about it too is it's going to, we have been conditioned as WWE fans for 30 plus years to say what main event wrestling is. Triple H is now trying to I don't want to say uncondition all of that, but I think he's working to condition us that there is more out there than what we've been taught. What we've been taught for forever is awesome and great, and we're going to have that. But then I think he's also teaching us that there's also other stuff, and we're going to have that too. And I think he's letting us know that it can all exist here. And so I want you to be able to take all of it in.
I think a lot of his fans are putting a lot of faith in Triple H. And I don't think that's misplaced at all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our program. You can show us some love with a like, leave us a comment, and give us a subscribe. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and TikTok. All of our content can be seen on YouTube, and you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Podcast. Until the next episode, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Rob.
And we thank you for listening to the Cream of the Crop Wrestling Podcast. Good night.
Thank you for listening to Cream of the Crop Wrestling. You can embrace the madness by finding us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cream of the Crop Wrestling. Follow us on Twitter at Cream of the Crop W. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by typing Cream of the Crop Wrestling in the search bar. Have fun with us on TikTok at Cream of the Crop Wrestling. And you can always find full episodes of the podcast wherever podcasts are found.
Nothing means nothing.
Nothing means nothing. What do you mean by that?
More, I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in. But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah. You know that I'm the cream of the crop. The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better. Oh yeah.